Ross, thanks for taking the time to speak to us this morning. Let's get right to it. Rhys Healey has left to join Toulouse. I'm going to ask first of all if you can give us some background on what happened. I'm going to do this interview a bit differently. I'm going to kind of get across some of the concerns and the thoughts that the fans have raised. But first of all, can you just give us some background on the deal and why the decision went into saying yes to allow Rhys to move on to Toulouse?
Yep, so Toulouse expressed interest a few weeks ago, quite early on, with a bid that was deemed nowhere near what we valued Rhys at. The interest intensified over the last few weeks. It wasn't a reason why Rhys didn't play. Rhys genuinely picked up a calf strain at Stevenage, so he didn't play. He hasn't played or trained since then. But yeah, once the interest intensified, Rhys came to us and expressed his desire to leave. And I'm sure Rhys won't mind me saying that it was life-changing for him, you know, and we have to respect, and we do as a football club respect that these players, they're human beings with families, their own issues, and their own people to look after, and which was the main reason why he expressed a desire to leave. And it was then up to Andy and the chairman to discuss the deal with and make sure the deal was right for us, and discuss that and negotiate with Toulouse. And we got to that point where everyone agreed it was at the right level. Rhys went for his medical this week and passed that. And yeah, he's now gone. He's now a Toulouse player. So obviously, I understand everyone's disappointment, but it's once a player expresses a desire to leave, it's really difficult then to persuade them otherwise. And listen, if the finance didn't get to a level everyone agreed on, we'd still be with Rhys and we'd have made sure we made it work. And he's got his head around playing for us again. But it's not to be. The finance hit a level everyone agreed at, and we're not going to stand in people's way when they have a move they've set their heart on and ultimately they want to do. Because I think I'd rather have a player here that wants to be here. I think once a player doesn't want to be and express the desire, it becomes difficult. So, you know, it wasn't a soft touch. It wasn't, he said he wants to leave, he can go. It was making sure the move was right for everyone. And it got to a level where the club felt that was right. And he moves on with our best wishes.
I want to touch on the point you made. I think a lot of the frustration is that we don't seem to do enough to keep hold of our best players. With Alex and obviously Rhys now, there's a perception that we just seem to allow them to leave and we don't seem to put up a fight.
Yeah, I think they're two totally separate and different scenarios. With Alex, we offered him a new contract. He decided he wanted to play elsewhere and have even more security in terms of just before the EFL salary cap came in, which has changed the landscape for a lot of clubs. So that was his choice. And then again, it was about the club negotiating a deal that was right for us. But once a player has set their heart on leaving, it becomes really difficult, especially in what we're trying to build here. We need people who are all in, totally committed to the football club, totally committed to what we're doing. We're not about individuals. I think both players would express their gratitude and their thanks to their teammates who helped gain interest in these players. So I think it's a sign that we're doing things right. I think it's a sign that we've got people interested in our players, whereas I think if you ask when we're in the relegation zone, 5 points adrift or whatever we were when we took over, would that be the case? I don't think it would be, if I'm being brutally honest, and that's no disrespect to anyone before, but we've put a lot of hard work into these players and the structure, and they're products of the environment that we created, that the fans connected with, that everyone spoke about, bringing an identity and a culture back to this football club that belongs. Because I feel like, forget the transfer negotiations about being soft and all that. No, as a football club, this place had gone soft. It'd been too comfortable for people, wasn't demanding enough for people, and it was seen as somewhere players could come and enjoy without any real expectation. And that's me being brutally honest. I want to move away from that. And if players don't want to be here and the club decide that the finance is right, then they move on. It's no problem. And I'm disappointed, like everyone else is, to lose a good player, but we'll be ready. We have to believe in the process and trust, and we've prepared for this as well. Rhys doing what he'd done last season was always going to gain a bit of interest. So we're prepared for this, and now it's about making sure we find the next one that we can come in, improve, develop, and improve with us and make us stronger. And hopefully at some point we get to the level where we don't need to sell our best players, but every club in the country outside of the Premier League and even the bottom half of the Premier League is in the same boat. If a club from a higher level comes in for one of their players, then it's becomes really difficult. So we have to accept that and be pragmatic about it and be realistic, but at the same time we're prepared for this. We are stronger than one player. It's about everyone, it's about the structure, it's about the whole team making each other better, about us making them better and creating new demands every single day for them. And if we do that and continue to do that, we'll be in this situation again, I have no doubt, where people are interested in our players. And if they are, we're doing something right.
I'm not expecting you to tell us now what fee we got, but can you give the fan any sort of indication in terms of what we received? I mean, is it substantial? Is it something that we can use moving forward?
I think the most important thing about the fee is that it's what we do with it now. So it's not about how much we got. I think, as I said, that the club wouldn't have done the deal if they weren't happy and satisfied. We wouldn't have, as a club, after speaking to Andy and the chairman at length, we wouldn't have done it if the deal wasn't right for us financially. So the deal's been done. It's now about how we utilise the money we've got left over, and we're already, there's plans in place already with that, and hopefully if we can do what we want to do with it, which has been agreed already by Andy and the chairman, which is great, then hopefully fans will see new players come in the building that they can be equally as excited about as they were with Rhys, who was relatively unproven before he came here. So it's done now, and we're already in plans in place to make sure we get players in to strengthen us and improve us, and that's what we need to continue doing. I feel we've done that during the summer. We've lost a lot of players, but the ones who brought in have really strengthened what we're doing, and the ones we've managed to keep just as important as well. So now it's about making sure we add to them and add some quality and depth and character as well.
I think I'm sure you can understand the frustration with the fans when they lose their player of the year, lose their top goal scorer. What is the plan in terms of replacing those individuals plus the ones that have also left? I mean, can the fans expect like for like, or is this going to be more of a construction of a new squad?
Yeah, firstly, I totally get everyone's frustration, disappointment. I think football things change really quickly. It's such a fluid industry where people move on, but we have to protect what we've got here. We're trying to build something, as I just spoke about, and my sole job is to protect the football club and what we're trying to build here and make sure that it's sustainable. The plans in place are, I think it's difficult to go and get a like for like, or whatever you want to call. Rhys was quite unique in terms of his skill set and the goals he scored. So we need to find the next one who's got the potential to do that. If we can find one who's already done that and it becomes available to us, then great. If not, we need to find one that we are really, really positive and confident in, that can come in and replicate that similar form and them stats. But ultimately, it'll be the strength of the team that do that, not the individual we bring in. It'll be the strength of us and our work and the process that we're trying to bring in and the environment. And if we get the right person, then I'm really confident they'll fit into that with the group we've already got, and strengthen us and bring us some goals and whatever else these guys that have left brought.
Putting my hat back on for a second. This is something that it's during my time at this football club, my time following this football club, players have come and gone, and it's the transition of football. I suppose it's something that's not really happened at this football club for a while over the last few years. Tend to have kept the core of the squad together for quite a while, but I suppose it's a natural progression of football, isn't it? Players will come and go, and it's when players are allowed to go, it's about what you do to replace them, and that's when you start becoming a sustainable and successful football club. Yeah,
exactly. That's why I'm really relaxed about it. I'm as disappointed as anyone that Rhys has gone, but I'm really relaxed about it because I know that we're doing something right, that people are interested in our players, that players have had numerous calls from agents and players that want to come and be part of what we're doing over the summer. And I think we could have had 10 new players by now if we wanted to, but ultimately they wouldn't be the right ones. I'm not going to rush to try and get players in that are not going to strengthen us. We're only going to do business if it's really right for us and if they're going to really improve what we've got. Which is why I'm asking people to be a little bit more patient than even I would like. But good players take time and they take a lot of work. The good ones are always with clubs already, so we're trying to make sure we get the right ones in, and I'm confident we will. It's just probably taking a little bit longer than some people would like and that I would like. But it's my first real window in terms of having the time to plan. January was really different, really unique. I said that at the time, but this one, I'm realising how long these deals can take, and you have to wait for some good players. So I think people just have to trust that, and that's why I'm so relaxed about it. I see the process day in, day out, what we're working on, who we're talking about. So people just have to trust that and be patient. And when they come in, ultimately we'll be judged on what we do on the pitch, and these guys have to come in and add to us as the ones who already have done. And then we'll be judged on the pitch. I said we're not going to be ready from day one. We're not going to be ready in the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. So the transfer window's open for a while. Hopefully we'll get players in sooner rather than later. But if it takes a bit more time to get the right ones in, then it will do. So it's up to us to replace them now. And ultimately we'll be judged on our performances on the pitch. And we have to just keep making sure our process off it is as good as it possibly can be, which is improving all the time. And I've said to you before, I've said to the players all the time, players need to come here desperate to play for this football club, and also be willing to accept there's going to be physical pain during the week. There's going to be some real mental challenges for them in working problems out, solving problems themselves. But ultimately, it's also we can give the fans something to be proud of on a Saturday, and that's my sole aim at this football club, to protect what we've got, build the identity it deserves, because it's lost that, I think, over a period of time, and make sure we're known for what I want us to be known for on the pitch, and that's intensity. That's trying to control games, and the players need to have that confidence and conviction in what we're doing, and that connection with the fans which they had last season. Because if we get all of that, we'll be successful, and it will be sustainable. And if we keep developing players and teams are interested in them, we need to get to a point, get to the level where we don't need to sell them, but that's going to take time, and players are going to need to get us there. So until then, we accept the situation, we're pragmatic about it, and we just need to make sure we've got a succession plan in place for everything and everyone, and that one that involves us just to continuously improve what we're doing.
Stick to you personally for a second. It's obviously your first proper transfer, and as you touched on, so a lot's gone on, a lot of challenges for you. How are you finding this transfer window and dealing with what you've had to deal with?
Yeah, I think obviously that COVID has completely changed the landscape for so many people, so many teams. Then obviously the salary caps come in, which has also then changed things completely again. So it's been interesting. It's not easy, but as I said all the way along, we're still looking at our number one targets in nearly every position. We lost out on one, as I spoke about. We went to a championship club, so that is what it is. We have to accept that. But I'm really pleased with the business we've done. I'm really excited about the potential business we're looking at doing. And I'm really happy with the squad we got. I think they just need a hand with a few more players and a bit more depth. And if we do that, I'm excited about the season. I've said to you all the way along, it's about improving. It's about continuous improvement. We have to improve on last season, and I believe we're still in a place to do that.
And finally, obviously, as we touched on, a lot of frustration, a lot of disappointment among the supporter base after yesterday's news. What would be your message to them today as we sit here about a week before the season?
Yeah, I get it. I understand it completely. All I'd ask from them is to show the same amount of faith in me and the staff and the group of players they did last season. We were starting from a long way behind last season in terms of points behind in the relegation zone. So the players doing what they did last season was incredible. That's why I was so proud of everyone. And we're going to need that connection to what we're doing and with everyone involved again this season. And hopefully we repay the faith that they showed in us last year, and they continue to show that again this year, because we're working as hard as we possibly can to make sure they get the football club they deserve. And the football club that we want. It's as simple as that. So I'm confident we can do that, and it just might take a little bit longer than people want in this transfer window, but once we get everyone in, I'll be happy, everyone will be happy, and we'll be excited about the season.